Alright, I'm going to see if I can get this engine compartment painted. It's going to be hot today. It was over 100, or around 100 yesterday. So I got to clean it all out here, finish sanding it up, and then spray it out. It's really hard to spray these because what happens is your cup is always hitting the top. So you end up doing it with a pinpoint of the spray gun instead of using a fan. Instead of using a fan, you just use a pinpoint and just shoot it up in the corners. Sometimes you get some runs and stuff, so it's not easy to do. And I figure I'll get this done real quick, and then we'll get it painted. All right? So that you guys set you guys up and let you guys watch here, and then I'll get busy on it. So this is what I use underneath. They have these alkali emulsions in a lot of different countries too. A lot of them are urethane, and even the urethane ones are even better than this one. But this one's adequate. I've used it before, and it does. It's not you know, like a rust. It's a rust inhibiting paint. So in other words, it protects the water from getting to the metal or the surface, but it doesn't actually have something in it to cure the rust. So that's why I always use the other stuff underneath it. So, but that's what I'm going to use on the body. We'll do that. We'll get the airless out here in a little while, and I'll spray that up. Maybe I'll get that in this video too. I'm going to start spraying this thing. I'll put it on hyperlapse because it's going to take me a while to do. It's just too slow to put on this. I'm going to have to pinpoint, change the fan angles, all kinds of stuff to paint in the corners. You can't just, you know, spray this direction and your gun's just going to be bumping into stuff. I'll probably get some runs. It's just, in these engine compartments, you know, if it's painted, I'm happy. So we'll take a look at it when it's done. Doesn't look too bad. Again, of course, you see the ripples up there, but you'll be like right here with the deck lid on there. So it looks good enough. That looks great for an engine compartment. There's of course, some orange peel in it. I mean, I had to pinpoint spray it. It was like spraying a glorified spray can to get up on all those corners. Couldn't use a fan, so it's kind of hard to not get orange peel when you use that, but it doesn't really matter. Most of the thing, I just want it protected with clear. So, got it all protected in the corners and all that pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty hard to spray back in there and hard to spray up here. Spraying upwards. Yeah, I got it all covered, so that's all I was looking for. Alright, so one of the things I use is this stuff. It's from Home Depot. It's got foam on it. It's called, they have it at Lowe's, Home Depot. It's called Frost King. It's for your pipes and stuff like that. I use this for also like a Dynamat alternative. So I'm going to put it on all the doors and the roof and all that inside to keep the noise down, and it works really good. And it's pretty cheap, and it's like 15 bucks a roll for that, but it works good for this in lieu of what was there originally. I did paint this I primed it with the rust killing primer and using a rust inhibiting paint, or actually a rust preventing paint, or curing paint underneath this. So then I'll put this on there and I'm just going to paint it. I don't really care. You may not adhere very well to this. You can use a product called XIM primer and just spray can it with that, and that'll make it so stuff will stick. Just take a scratchy pad, and if you want, and that'll make it stick to that. Or you can wrap it with some kind of vinyl like what they originally had. Some people might say, well, this will trap moisture in. I mean, you're gonna have to insulate it with something, so moisture is gonna get trapped in there no matter what you do. So anyway, that's it for that, I guess. What's weird about this paint is, like, when it's wet you can clean it off with water, but as soon as it's dry it's like acetone, or it just sticks. So I always have to wash up first with water, and then I come back with acetone and clean the rest off. So if you can see, like, that's what that looked like. Remember that part that's smeared off? And then when you, so mineral spirits, if you have mineral spirits in another state, we don't have it anymore. They say it says mineral spirits on it, but it's acetone. Then acetone or lacquer thinner or mineral spirits actually dilutes it. I mean, mineral spirits kind of does. It's kind of weird. It's a different paint. I don't know, but it cleans out of the airless okay with water. Because while it's still wet, it cleans up really easy with water. It smears. But as soon as it dries, it's like impossible to get off with water. Or even, like I'm using like that soap, orange goop stuff with the grit in it. Or, fast orange. I don't know what I got right now. I think I got orange goop. I like the orange goop better than the fast orange. I've used both. Yeah, see, it comes off. But it's weird, so it sticks like crazy once it's dry, and it'll stay on that frame, and also that rust stuff that I use, that stuff is amazing too. I mean, you take a grinder and try and grind the stuff off, and when it's on there right, it barely will come off with a grinder. It's so tightly to the metal, it just embeds itself to the rust. So, people that say this stuff doesn't work, I mean, they've never really messed with it enough. Or sometimes I've seen guys say, oh yeah, you sand it off and it's brown. Well, you need to put another coat on and then try and sand it off after that. And you won't get it off. It's on there. So that rust converter, this stuff here, oh, this is a different one. Yeah, once that rust converter is just onto the metal, and it's not onto the scaled rust, and it's onto the actual metal rust, man, you can't get it. It's so hard to get off. It's hard to just grind it to clean it to weld. So, I end up burning it off with the with a welder sometimes. So that actually works really good. And underneath, I don't like to sandblast, because when you sandblast, you remove stuff that you can't recoat, and there's areas in there that you may not get painted, so you really need a rotisserie to do a full restoration like that. So I don't like to do it. I don't want to build a rotisserie for every car, and I just don't want to go through all that. It just depends on what you want to do. To me, that's just like, then you build a car that you don't drive because it's so expensive. You got $100,000 in it. Not everybody can do that, but everybody can do what I'm doing. So that's why I'm teaching it. We'll take a look at it when it dries. I'll let it dry. It needs about a couple hours to dry, and we'll go look at it. It looks really cool, that satin does. And it's a real thick coat that's on there. I'm using a 211 spray tip, real small spray tip to spray it. But you have to move really fast because you're putting it on so thick underneath. And that's straight out of the can. I don't reduce it at all. That's, you know, that airless will spray it straight out of the can. You can't really reduce that product. If you reduce it with water, it compromises it. Just like clear coat, if you put a lot of a reducer in clear coat, it compromises the clear and it won't last. So don't do that. You know, that's stuff you don't do. But anyway, I'll work on this for a little bit. I'll bring you guys back in. While I'm waiting for this to dry, I was reading some comments, and some of you guys just cracked me up. You guys are awesome. So I was just going to tell you real quick. You know, I made the video making the lenses for the interior, and the guy wrote down a comment, says something about half-assed work, and you know, if I did really nice work, I'd probably get a lot more subscribers. And honestly, that stuff doesn't even bother me. You know, it's the ones that when somebody just says you're an idiot, you know, it's just pointless. Those ones kind of get me. But it's so funny how many people jumped on the bandwagon to say half-assed work. What the hell are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. This guy's restoring a bus in, you know, less than a year. I've done these in 4 months by myself with no help, with no cameras, and that's a lot easier to do. But man, I was just reading the comments, and you guys just cracked me up. Thank you so much. I can't believe it. I read this stuff, and then the guy replies to all the comments, and he says, well, it's freedom of speech, blah, blah, blah. And I just replied to him just now, and I said, dude, you just got blasted by the people who want to see this stuff, you know, the shortcuts and things like that. They're wanting to learn ways to do things faster because they don't want to spend 5 years on their bus. You know, that's what I'm, you know, and the reason, like that video, you know, honestly, the one on the lenses, I probably will never get paid for my time for even making that. But somebody someday is going, God, you know, I can't afford the $60 lenses or whatever they are a piece for the aftermarket remanufactured ones. How do I just get some lenses? They look it up on YouTube. They find out how to do their own, and they're just happy as a jaybird because they can do it. You know, that's what I'm doing a lot of these videos for. It's not to make money. It's, you know, the little bit that I get for it, it's nice because it makes it, you know, so I can do it, because everything in the world costs money. All right. There's nothing for free. Your time, when you spend time doing something, you better get something for it, or you're, you know, you can't do that very often. So that's why, but I do this because so many people can benefit from it, and for next generations of years and years, hopefully these videos will be up for many, many years, forever, you know, and people can learn the old school way to do stuff that works. You know, this is how we did our undercarriages. We did undercarriages all black. Now guys get them on a rotisserie, they can flip them all around, and they can paint all the edges and corners and all that stuff. Not everybody's going to want to do that. You know, you're not going to want to set up a rotisserie and restore your bus on that thing. Some guys aren't going to want to do it. So that's why I'm showing this stuff. Anyway, real quick, thank you so much. I wanted to show you how this is still drying. When this dries like overnight, you cannot separate it from the stuff. That's why I like to use it. It sticks really, really good to anything underneath, you know, versus an automotive product. You have to sand everything really, really good, sand it, and then, you know, prep it, prime it, sand it, and, you know, who wants to do that when you're underneath your car at home? You know, I've done this on without a lift. It is a pain in the ass, but I've done it like on maybe 5 different vans. So it is possible to do without having it on the lift. It just is easier when you have it up on the lift. You know, you got to get it up really, really high, and then just start getting under with the airless, and then spray it. But if you can see, this is still drying. Some of this is a little wet right here. You can see that beautiful satin look under here. It just has that like an original look to me, and it looks, you know, like it was well taken care of. And when it gets dirty, you know, it's going to take a while for this to dry. Just looking at right now, it's going to get hot today, but it's still going to take a while. But you see that nice satin finish, and and this isn't quite dry yet, so you can see it's still peeling off. But once it's completely dry, it holds on pretty well. So the fear of like undercoating, where you put your undercoating on, you can take undercoating, you can just peel it off with your finger. This stuff will stick pretty well, especially to the rusted areas. Some of the primed areas, maybe not as much. You may have to scuff them up a little more, you know, like these floors. But it'll be well enough to where stuff won't get underneath it. And that's the main thing. And then from here, even if you can't do this, let's say you can't do this and you don't have access to an airless, you can even, at least if nothing else, you can hop under there with a bunch of these spray cans. Like this spray can right here. And just spray can everything out with that, you know, and it's got the 2 times whatever, or it has the, this is the rust protector. They have the one that's got the 2 times coverage. You can use the Rust-Oleum one, you know, coat it really good, put like a couple coats of that, you know, you might go through 10 spray cans under there, but at least you're giving it some kind of a protection from future rust, and, you know, it'll slow it down enough to where probably in your lifetime, maybe in couple generations of lifetimes, it will stop it from rusting. Now if you're driving it in the winter and you're you know, you're driving it in the you know, stuff like that, it's probably not going to last very long, and you might have to go under there and do it a few times, you know, over your time that you have it. Anyway, that's why I do it, because it's fast. I can go under here with an airless, and it just, I can go under here really quickly. And yeah, there's runs in it, big fatty right there. But I know wherever there's a run, there won't be rust. So, and that's what I'm looking at underneath. I'm not looking for like a smooth finish or anything. When that satin dries down, you don't really even notice the runs even. You know, like this one here is starting to dry out. You hardly even notice it. It's still a little bit wet at the tips of it. So, but I coat this like underneath here. I shot this twice. It has like almost like a, it's almost a little bit rubberized. And like I said, you can't separate it. Once it's over that rust treatment stuff, you can't separate it. It sticks on that so good, and that stuff sticks to the rust so good. It's like a really good solution for underneath. Anyway, all right, that's it for this. I'll talk to you guys. Let's take a look at this. Next day, right? Yeah, and you know you're going to be looking at like that. And you're going to have a gas tank right there, big gas tank. It covers all that area. So I'll put all that in. We're gonna put the engine in now. Come back next week. We'll be on the engine video, putting all the engine in, and then we'll be driving this thing. So stick around. I'm just gonna take up the street, drive it through the gears, make sure the tranny's good. I do have one more tranny that I think is good, that I picked up used. I don't know for sure if it is, but I'm hoping it is. And if this one's good, if this was not good. This is the original one, which is cool because it has the 12-volt housing, you know, the larger already opened for the bigger flywheel. Yeah, you can see that nice satin finish on there, and it's just, I don't care where you scratch it, it ain't coming off. So once it's on there, that's what I like, the water-based stuff. It just sticks so good. Anyway, that's it for this. We'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks for making those comments. And, you know, if you guys want to read those, if you haven't been over there to look at that, watch the video on the lights and look at the comment from, I think its name is, what was it? I just remembered. I forgot it. Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter. I just know there's a few people that subscribe to the channel just to be negative. And that's fine. Appreciate it. Watch the videos, hate them, whatever. And that's fine. You know, it doesn't matter. There's enough people that like the videos that really want to contribute to the channel, that the haters can just be there. It doesn't matter. They can watch. It helps out. So anyway, and it gives you guys something to comment to. Talk to you in the next one.